I, 26 female, am planning my wedding to my fiancé, 27 male, in a few months. Everything is going great and I love him so much. I can't wait to spend my life with him. He loves my family and I, for the most part, love his. A bit of background, my fiancé has a much older brother. While my future mother-in-law was pregnant 3 times in between them, all of them didn't make it. As a result, mother-in-law put all of her motherly love and attention on my fiancé. Before I met him, he'd never tried a fruit or vegetable because his parents never made him when he was young, and he'd grown up assuming they were gross. I got him to try some, and he loves them now. As we were planning our guest list, we consulted our families about which and how many relatives we should invite. My future mother-in-law asked that we invite my fiancé's dead brother and sisters. When we asked what she meant, she wanted us to put up a framed photo of the dead babies in the pews at our wedding ceremony and then save them seats at our reception. I was horrified. First of all, we want to have a fairly small wedding to start with and a beautiful, intimate venue. We can only have seats for 30 to 50 people, and I would like these places to be for our friends and family, not people who have never met either of us because they're dead. Fiancé agrees that 3 of 50 seats reserved for dead people is too many. He suggested we compromise and just let mother-in-law put up all 3 photos in one seat. Personally, I think it's gross and weird to include any of them. We're starting our lives together. We want to have a family, and it almost seems like a bad omen, but it means a lot to her and it's a fairly small ask. Fiancé's parents are paying for 75% of our wedding, and this is the only request she's had. So, am I the idiot for still refusing? Not the idiot. I have no words other than no way, and God forbid one of the guests is currently going through it. OP, please don't put a bomb at your wedding. You really don't want the buzz around your wedding being about whose dead babies they are and why they were only specifically acknowledged when plenty of other people have passed before them. If it was mother-in-law's wedding, she could do what she wants. Still creepy though. If they're ultrasounds rather than memorial portrait photos, the guests might think it's a pregnancy announcement. But the "no, I'm not pregnant, it's my mother-in-law's lost pregnancy" is such a great way to lift the spirit of everyone involved. Also, where is the line? If grandparents are no longer with us or bereaved aunts and uncles, can parents ask for pictures of those? How about a compromise? I have seen this at other weddings and it was very tastefully done. A small bouquet of flowers can be in a chair or other spot, and there can be a note in the program that they are there to honour family members no longer with us. They can even go to the mother-in-law's table at the reception. This would be a hill I would die on. There's no compromise on this one. By compromising, they're adding a third party into their marriage. Any compromise should be made between the husband and wife. It's their wedding. Compromising with her mother-in-law about something they are both uncomfortable with is showing her that she has an equal footing in their marriage. Fiancé needs to stand up and tell Mom no. I'd be eloping. The thought of this is just so twisted. I feel horrible for you. I'm so sorry. My wife and I booked a weekend trip to one of our favourite cities months ago when there was a flash sale. We were really excited and began planning and booking everything we would do there. She was excited that we could stay at her favourite hotel. Unfortunately, that hotel was full, so we were put on a wait list, so we booked a different hotel as a backup. As the months passed, we began a countdown to the start of the trip and excitedly subtracted a day each morning. But once we got under 30 days, my wife's attitude changed, and she became more sullen towards the trip. We still hadn't heard from the ideal hotel, and my wife had begun to accept that it wouldn't happen. Additionally, the person who would check in on our teenagers while we were gone also fell through, so we suddenly had to find a replacement. We talked about it, and I said that even though we're not at the ideal hotel, the trip is still about us spending time with each other and it will still be wonderful. I also suggested multiple options for people checking in on our teenagers. She listened, but it didn't really change her perception of it. I could tell she was becoming depressed about going on the trip. A few days ago, she suggested we cancel the trip and try rebooking for another sale next year. I said that if that's what she wanted, then I agreed to it, but it felt premature because we were still on the wait list for the hotel and we could still find a solution for our teenagers. There was no benefit to cancelling now when there was a chance it could work out. But she was adamant it would not work out and saving the money for a trip next year would be better. I agreed, but said if things change and we do get the hotel, we will not be able to rebook our cancelled flights and activities as they are much more expensive now. She was okay with this and then cancelled everything. The next few days she seemed much happier, like a weight was off her shoulders. 2 days ago, the Ideal Hotel contacted us to say our reservations were accepted. My wife got super excited again and began looking into bookings and trying to find someone to check in on our teenagers. Once she found someone, she told me about the hotel update and the new solution for the kids, and that she was going to rebook everything. I asked how much that would be, and it was hundreds of dollars more than what we originally budgeted. So I reminded her that we'd discussed this, and once she cancelled everything, we would not be rebooking this trip. She grew angry and pointed out that the trip was about us spending time with each other and that I should be more flexible. I mentioned how it hurt me that she was unwilling to find solutions for the things that weren't working out so that we could spend time together before, but now that her ideal hotel is ready, it suddenly was a priority for her, and she easily solved the issues that were depressing her before. If the price difference was low, I would be open to rebooking everything, but it's much more expensive now, and while we can afford it, it would be very tight. She's making me feel guilty that I'm not working harder to save this vacation, and that it feels like I'm refusing to go to prove a point about her cancelling early. I think booking again in the future would be better, but she's very attached to going on this trip after spending months counting it down. She feels like she had a moment of weakness and made decisions to improve her mental health, and that I shouldn't punish her for that. Am I the idiot? Edit, my wife's family would vacation in this city often and stay in this hotel. She has many fantastic memories there and gets very emotional and nostalgic about it, especially since her parents are no longer with us. Admittedly, the hotel is very nice, near many of the tourist activities in the city, and has great restaurants and great reviews. Not the idiot, she made her bed so she can lie in it now. There was literally no harm in holding off to cancel things. Sure, she had a moment of weakness, but she's an adult, not a child. She's throwing a temper tantrum right now because she's not getting her way, but you're not punishing her. You're making her deal with the consequences of her actions. Maybe next vacation she'll learn not to jump the gun in cancelling things if they don't work out in her favour. Dude, she was clearly more interested in visiting her ideal hotel than spending quality time with you. The only focus should have been on spending time together on the trip. The fact she thought it was ruined due to her perfect hotel being unavailable should tell you all you need to know. Then, to manipulate you with mental health? Just an idiot move all around. Don't rebook the trip. My parents have me, teen male, and my younger siblings, tween female, and pre-tween female. My younger siblings get an allowance for their chores, which is 1 chore each, and for that they get $20 a week. While I never got an allowance for doing my chores, I have 5 chores, making 4 beds every morning, keeping the kids' living room tidy, doing laundry twice a week, cooking for the family once a week, and cleaning my siblings' lunchboxes after school. I always had multiple chores. The list has been the same for 5 years. Before that, the only difference was cooking, since I didn't cook 1 night a week, but the laundry was added when I was a pre-tween. My siblings' chores are to carry dishes to whoever washes up, pre-tween female, start the robot vacuum, tween male, and make sure the fridge always has bottled water, tween female. I asked my parents why my siblings get paid but I don't, even though I do more. They told me it was the responsibility of the oldest, and they shouldn't need to pay me to be a good brother and son. Then they hated when I got a job because some of my chores were done at different times than they used to be. I told them I wanted money, and since they decided I wasn't worth paying like my siblings were, I got a real job instead. To be clear, I still do my chores, but instead of the lunchboxes being done right after school on Friday, it happens after work. The kids' living room is messier longer because I'll be at work while my siblings are making a mess. My parents wanted to go on an overnight date night and they asked me to babysit. I asked them what they were paying and they said nothing, it would be another chore. I told them I wouldn't babysit then, and I would only babysit if I got paid. They told me they couldn't afford to pay me, and I replied that I was tired of being screwed over by them while they paid my younger siblings. They told me I was being a brat and they could make me babysit. I reminded them that they get what they pay for. Am I the idiot? So, in theory, when you leave home at 18 for college or whatever, the tween female is going to be shocked that she is suddenly the oldest and has all the responsibility. You are actually fortunate to be learning real-life skills, and you will be prepared for adulthood much more than your siblings, but not the idiot for being resentful of the way you're treated differently. If they can't afford a sitter, they can't afford a date night. Older siblings aren't ready-made free ones. You were absolutely 100% correct in your response. Also, why is it that the brother's job is just to start the Roomba? That seems unequal. He literally just pushes a button. Your siblings are going to revolt when you leave for university or just move out, and all the extra chores will need to be split between them. Apparently, pushing a button warrants a $20 a week allowance as well. Like, how messed up are these parents? Your parents are ridiculous. Did they have you so you could parent the other children? They are not your responsibility, and it's crappy parenting giving them an allowance and not you. How about no allowances? Then they can pay for a real babysitter. We've been dating only a few months now. We're both in our early 20s. We live in the same small town, although she recently just moved here and we started dating. One of my co-workers was having a little party at his house on Saturday night. He invited me and I brought my girlfriend along. She knows my co-worker and a lot of my friends by now, so we pretty much all knew each other. We arrived maybe by 9 p.m. We had some drinks and my girlfriend wanted to go to the bar, so we left and went to the bar. It was a short walk across town. We had another couple of drinks at the bar and played some pool. At around midnight, she wanted to leave and return to my friend's party. I was really buzzed and said that I would rather just go back to my place, with her. She said she needed to shower before coming to my place and I walked her back to her car. She offered to drive me home and I let her. Before anyone gets up in arms, I think she had maybe 2 beers at the bar and didn't even drink the second one all the way, and I could tell she wasn't intoxicated. Instead of showering at her place, I said she could just shower at mine, eat something and watch a movie. She still insisted on going home and showering. I didn't hear from her for like 2 hours and was pretty annoyed. I saw that my buddy posted a Snapchat story and saw my girlfriend in the background. I texted him and asked if she was still there and he said yes. I got no text from her that whole entire night. The next morning she texted me and tried to say she went home and fell asleep, but I told her I knew she was lying. She then said that she went back to the party for a couple of minutes and lost track of time, and her phone died and she couldn't text me. I asked another one of my buddies if anything happened while I was gone, and he flat out told me that he wouldn't trust her. And I don't. I told her I didn't want to pursue the relationship further. I'm not quite as upset that she went back to the party as I am that she tried to lie about it. Not the idiot. It's amazing that she actually thought she could lie to you, go back to the party you were invited to with your friends and your co-workers, and she thought you would never find out. That is a level of dumbness that is not often seen. Congrats on ending the relationship. Your ex-girlfriend is very bad news. Yeah, something did happen. She went back to see a specific person. That's the real reason she went back. Your one friend who took a picture of her in the background likely did so intentionally, and when you asked about it, he said, "I wouldn't trust her." It was him admitting one of your mutual friends hooked up with her that night. I, 27 male, am getting married to my fiancée, 26 female, next summer. We've been planning everything together and it's been really nice to go through this process as a team. The only bump in the road so far has been her best friend, Lily. Lily is her closest friend, practically a sister to her. She's been there through a lot of ups and downs, and they have a strong bond that I really respect. Lily's also her maid of honor, which is important to my fiancé and something I fully supported at first. But recently I've started to worry about how Lily might handle that responsibility. She has a very outgoing, energetic personality, she loves being the center of attention, and she's the type to go big in any social setting. It's not usually a problem, but sometimes she can take things a little too far. For example, she's hinted about making her speech unforgettable and has made a few comments that make me wonder if she's planning some kind of surprise or moment that might end up being more about her than us. I know she means well, but I'm worried that her energy might detract from the atmosphere my fiancé and I want to create. I brought this up to my fiancé as gently as possible, suggesting that maybe her sister or one of her other close friends could be maid of honor instead, just to simplify things. I explained that I was concerned about things going off course or feeling a bit too focused on someone else, but she was really hurt by the suggestion. She told me that Lily is the one person who's been there for her during some of the hardest moments of her life, and that she can't imagine anyone else standing beside her in that role. Now I'm stuck between feeling guilty for asking her to make such a big change and worried about how the day could turn out if my concerns are valid. I want this day to be special for both of us, and I'm not trying to create any tension over something that could maybe work itself out. Am I the idiot for asking her to reconsider? Should I just trust that everything will be fine and let it go? You are the idiot. Here's the thing. You've put your fiancé between a rock, a hard place, and a 5th-story window ledge if Lily has already been asked to be the maid of honor. She can't take the maid of honor away from Lily just because you're a little worried, or it will cause a huge rift between them. But there's part of her that is now worried that if Lily stays maid of honor, a rift will grow in your relationship, or that there could be ongoing conflicts between you and Lily. OP, nothing you said reflects badly on Lily. Every single thing is your fear. In fact, all the things you listed are the perfect characteristics of a partner. My wife could be described as a Lily, and I'm so fortunate. I don't really hope this, but I hope your wedding sucks, that it rains, that the food is terrible. But guess what? The next day, you get to wake up with the love of your life. You will grow old together, and all the terrible things will be funny stories for the next 50 years. Lily will either amaze you or do exactly what you fear. But it won't matter. What will matter is that you questioned your bride's judgment and backed her into a corner. That is something you both will remember. Go talk to someone about your fears and cold feet. Then give a very sincere and honest apology.